Hello students, let us start our discussion about laws of motion. There are three different laws of motion. First law of motion, second law of motion and third law of motion. So let us discuss about what is the first law of motion. We know that when any object is at rest, will remain at rest, and if there is an object moving with uniform speed, then the speed of that object does not change with respect to time or distance until an external force is not applied on that object. So you can easily see that when there is no force acting on any object, then the state of that object will not change with respect to time. It means if an external force is absent, then the state of the object is always remains unchanged. It means the state of object does not change. Okay, so this is the first law of motion. Suppose that if any object is moving with 30 km/h in the direction of north, so that object is moving continuously in north direction with the same speed, that is 30 km/h till now, an external force and not affect the motion of that object. Okay, similarly, if we place any object in the rest position, then object is continuously stayed in the rest position while an external force is not applied on that object to change the state of that object. Okay, so this is all about the first law of motion, which has been already discussed in the law of inertia and introduction of this chapter. Now come to the second law of motion. Second law of motion. What is second law of motion? Newton provides a simple law that is known as second law of motion. He give the simple concept that when any object changes its position with respect to time, and then the object is said to be in motion. But when object changes its motion, it means the object changes its velocity, then the momentum of that object is changed. So what is the momentum? As you know that the product of the mass and the velocity of any object at any instant of time, that is known as momentum of that object at that instant of time. So momentum can be defined as product of mass and velocity of any object, and that can be represented by a symbol P, and P is equal to mv. Momentum is a vector quantity, its unit is kilogram meter per second, and it measures the total magnitude of the linear momentum. If there is a change in momentum, then the rate of change of momentum measures the force applied on the object. Suppose that if a car is moving along any direction with a constant speed, that is 30 km/h, and after some time or for a time interval, if some external force applied on the car, that is car accelerates its motion. So if a car attains the 48 km/h in time t, so what will be the change in momentum and how much time will take to change this change in momentum? So if we calculate the total initial momentum of the object, that is mass of the car multiplied by initial speed, and final momentum after time t, that is mass multiplied by the car to the final speed or final velocity. So if we subtract the final momentum from initial momentum from the final momentum, then we get the change in the momentum, and if we divide that momentum, then we'll get the total amount of the force exerted by the engine to the car. Okay, so second law of motion gives us an idea to are about the force which will affect the motion of any object, that will also change the momentum of any object. So statement of this law of motion is the rate of change of momentum of any object is directly proportional to the external force applied on that object. So suppose that if we have an object of mass m kilogram and it is moving with a uniform speed u, suppose that initially, but at any time instant t we applied some fixed amount of force on that object. So that force accelerates this object by a constant acceleration. So the object will perform its motion under uniform acceleration. So with the help of this acceleration, car increases its velocity, and suppose that at any time t dash, if the velocity of the object becomes v, then how much change in the velocity and how much time will change the velocity, how much time taken to change the velocity. So if we define this acceleration, then we get what? This is the rate of change of velocity. Okay, rate of change of velocity. So we get that delta v divided by delta t. So this is the formula for the acceleration. Since we are discussing in our question that acceleration is uniform, so rate of change of velocity is constant. But what factor changes the velocity? That is force. So how much amount of the force will exert on the object? That can be calculated by a simple fact that as we know that the rate of change of momentum, as we know that initial velocity of the car is u, then the initial momentum is mu, and after time t, suppose that its velocity becomes v, then the final momentum becomes mv. So how much change in the momentum? So change in momentum, that is delta p, is equal to p2 minus p1, that is equal to mv minus u. So this can be written as m multiplied by vector v minus vector u. So if you want to calculate the rate of change of momentum, so rate of change of momentum will be equal to mv minus u divided by delta t. So from here we get m and this becomes a. Okay, so rate of change of momentum is equal to m multiplied by a, and we know that mass multiplied by acceleration is equivalent to the force applied by the object. So from here we get that F is equal to ma. It means the total rate of change of momentum of the object is equal to the amount of the force experienced by that object, and the amount of that force which will change the momentum of the object is ma. Okay, so this is all about the second law of motion, and different types of examples will discuss in our next video. Now let us want to know what is the third law of motion. What are the basic concept of third law of motion? So third law of motion. Third law of motion. What is third law of motion? As we know that every object when affected by some force applied by another object, then same object will also exert equal amount of force the first object or affecting object in opposite direction. So third law of motion states that there is equal and opposite reaction for every action. Suppose that we have two ball, first ball, and here is a second ball. First ball has a mass m1, second ball has a mass m2, and first ball is moving with a uniform velocity u1, and second ball is moving with a uniform velocity u2 initially, and both are moving in the same line of motion and in same direction also. And also we take that the magnitude of the first ball velocity is greater than that of the velocity of the second ball. Okay, so when this ball reached just near at this ball, then this will collide this ball, and during collision this first ball exerts some force on this second ball, and the velocity of this ball will change. It means suppose that after collision the velocity of the first ball becomes v1 and that of the second ball becomes v2. So how much change in the velocity of the first ball? So there is a change in the velocity of first ball is v1 minus u1, because the initial velocity of the first ball is u1 and the final velocity of the first ball is v1. So change in velocity of first ball is v1 minus u1. Okay, and suppose that during collision, if they are colliding each other with a very small time interval, that is delta t or small t, which is very small, it means time of collision is very small and can be represented by a symbol t. So the change in velocity can be represented by this. So suppose that if we want to calculate the initial momentum of the first ball, initial momentum of the first ball is p1, that is mu1, and the final momentum of the first ball, final momentum p dash 1 is equal to mv1. Then what will be the change in momentum? This will be equal to p1 dash minus p1, that will be equal to m of v1 minus u1. So what will be the rate of change of momentum? So rate of change of momentum, that will be the amount of force provided by that ball on the second. It means because there is a change in velocity of the first ball, so this ball can experience amount of force. So the force experienced by this ball whose momentum is changed can be experienced by the force exerted on the first ball due to the second ball. Okay, so this can be written as what? M dot v1 minus u1 divided by t, because this can be defined as what? p1 dash minus p divided by t. So rate of change of momentum, that is rate force applied on the first ball due to the second, because second ball changes the velocity of first, so force is applied by the second. So this can be written as force experienced by the first ball due to the second. So this will be equal to what? M v1 minus u1 by t. So if this is a1, so this becomes m a1. Okay, now similarly second ball will also change its velocity, and we know that during collision, if this ball collides with this, then its velocity decreases. It means this force is always applied in the opposite direction of its velocity. It means direction of the force experiencing by this ball is always opposite to that of the velocity or initial motion direction. Okay, so similarly if we calculate the force experiencing by the second ball due to the first which collides on the second, then we will obtain that m of v2 minus u2 divided by t, and this will be written as what? M of a2. Now as we know that the amount of this force will always equal to the amount of this force. Magnitude of this force is always equal to magnitude of this force. This is the mass of second object, this is the mass of first object, and this is the second object. Okay, so here is also one. So the amount of magnitude of M1 is always equal to M2A2. This is always equal to same. It means the force is always, magnitude of this force is always equal to same, but direction of these forces is always opposite to each other, because when this ball hits this ball, then this ball increases its velocity in forward direction, but the ball which hits the first decreases its velocity, because this ball applies some resistance in the path of this ball's motion. Okay, so this ball retard its motion, it means the ball decreases its speed. So the amount of this force is always equal to this force. If we write it as in the vector form, then we get what? Minus of this force, that is F1 on 2 is equal to F on 2 due to 1. Okay, so this provides a concept of third law of motion, that is there is equal and opposite reaction for every action. This is the third law of motion provided by the Newton. We will discuss different concept, different examples, aspect around us, which based on the third law of motion, also first, second and third law of motion. We will discuss all these phenomena tomorrow in our new lecture. Till now, take care. Thank you.